Well, thank you so much for joining us on this short presentation. We're going to take a quick look at the Aurum Foundation, a platform I came across last year. Many of you asked me to review the platform, just to give you my thoughts, my opinions. I did a little bit of due diligence. I'm only here to share my own thoughts and opinions. Of course, it's very, very important that you do your own due diligence. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you any advice in that respect. I'm not an accountant, but I've looked at a number of things that I feel good about this particular platform. What impressed me was Brian Benson. Brian Benson's the CEO. He used to work as a trader for Morgan Stanley, a very reputable bank in the United States. And then after that, um, he went to work for Binance and was very, very, very successful at Binance. In fact, Binance did $1 billion of revenue in just 6 months. That was known as a unicorn company. It came from nowhere, $1 billion brand, and that was faster than Microsoft, faster than Apple, faster than Tesla. It was just incredible what it did. And this man on the screen represented 20% of that revenue from the market that he operated. So he was the managing director. He opened Brazil, he opened Chile, Peru, Paraguay, he opened Mexico, he opened all of what's called Central and Southern America. This was the man. His job was to go down and open the offices, do the due diligence, create the banking relationships, and he actually did it in his own name. Before it was called Binance, it was called Brian Benson's Companies. And once he established it, CZ from Binance wrapped the Binance brand around Brian's work, and he was integral in the development of Binance. This man. So why is that important? Well, it's very important to know who's running the ship. Do they have experience? Well, most certainly. Do they have connections? Absolutely. You're going to find that out throughout the presentation. So it's not somebody that's unfamiliar with the industry. It's somebody that's right up there, somebody very prominent, somebody very well known, well respected. I hadn't heard of the gentleman before, so I did a quick Google, as you might do as well. I typed in Brian Benson Binance. I just wrote after that. Can you see that? And then I pressed images. I just wanted to see, was it the same guy? And wow, I was very impressed. Lots of history here, and that's good. That's good that he is the real Brian Benson. There's images here when he was much younger. We can see him with a Binance shirt. This image over here, if we look again, top left, can you see there? That's the image that Forbes use when they talk about him. And of course, Forbes have mentioned this company more than once. Forbes is a reputable media company. They write the rich lists. You're probably familiar with that. Who are the richest people in North America? Who are the wealthiest people in Asia? And to create those rich lists, they have to do a lot of research, a lot of data pull to get those right. And it's very important that a media company speaks the truth or speaks, properly about certain companies. And here we were glad to read that they're telling us that Aurum is providing institutional grade trading, not standard trading, which is quite risky. Somebody kid working at home on a computer trying to trade is a whole lot different than institutional grade trading. There's more governance, there's more risk management inside institutional grade trading. This is the type of trading the banks would use. This is the type of trading the big institutions like BlackRock, they're into institutional type trading. So I was very pleased to see that. But I was even more interested when we heard that Brian Benson was invited to the Forbes Council. So obviously they think a lot of this man. They have a whole page on him, and that was quite interesting to read. And that happened at the end of 2025. Then what impressed me was the Visa card, and to know that Aurum have teamed up with the issuing bank that releases Visa cards. That was a great indicator. I felt that obviously the issuing bank would want to know who Brian Benson is. Of course, they know who he is. They would probably want to know uh, how much turnover did they have last year? Are the right licenses in place? They would probably have to ask who are the directors. So, assuming that Visa have done their job, I think that does a lot of work for us guys because we can see, well, okay, if Visa are partnering up with them, they must be of some certain stature. So that was quite interesting. But I dug deep into find out which bank issued this, and I was pleasantly surprised to find that it's a regulated bank. I just don't want to mention the bank. I'll tell you why, because then 10,000 people ring the bank and say, "Do you do business?" So let you know that it is a regulated bank that's issued this to Aurum. So with that said, we then learned last year that Brian Benson was traveling around the world building the brand, and that was quite interesting. He spoke at the world's largest blockchain summit it's called the Token 2049 Summit. 25,000 people showed up. The tickets were $1,000 to get in on the last day. And they were queuing outside to get in here. 25,000 people. And who was speaking? Yes, Brian Benson, out there talking about Aurum, talking about AI, talking about the effects that AI has, the impact that it has on trading. We know that AI has impacted a lot of businesses, a lot of industry, a lot of careers have been affected. A lot of industries are turning on their head. And this AI, I mean, if you're familiar with Chat GPT, it's just incredible how you can just type something in there and automatically it's all there, everything it can do. I'm told 10,000 processes in a split second, faster than a human. It has no emotions. It's a great tool for this type of fintech business for trading. And we learned that Brian Benson was speaking. Can you see who was speaking that day? There was Richard Teng. Richard's the CEO of Binance. Both Brian Benson and Richard were speaking that day. And Brian and Richard are friends. They work together in Binance, but Richard got the CEO job. And I suppose many of you are happy about that, because if Brian hadn't got the CEO job, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion today. So that was good news. We see that the owner of Tron, Justin Sun, was speaking there too. So big guys were speaking at this with 25,000 people. I think I heard Donald Trump's sons were here, BlackRock were here, Michael Saylor. They go to these big events, and Brian Benson was out there building that Aurum brand. Then the second week of December 25, the big finance week goes on in the Emirates. And of course, in Abu Dhabi at the blockchain show, guess who was speaking? Yeah, Brian Benson was there too. And not a bit of wonder Forbes have invited him to the Finance Council. He was interviewed by Wendy O. Go and have a listen to that interview, by the way. Interesting to hear questions, but more interesting to hear Brian Benson's answers. But when we saw him on stage, this panel of 5 experts, Arpit Sharma, but the only one I knew was Brian Benson. That's the one I was looking for. But who is he sitting beside? The co-founder of Sandbox, the co-founder of 1inch. Go check out who they are. 1inch, Sandbox, Aurum, all on stage, experts on the panel at Abu Dhabi. So incredible reputation, I suppose, is what I felt. Now, of course, if you feel any different, that's up to you. But I was reasonably pleased with the CEO and who's running this Aurum business. Now, the next thing we need to look at is the products and the infrastructure, what they call the ecosystem. I hear lots of companies talking about building ecosystems, but it's always mañana. The future is coming. It's coming. This company is a little bit different. We've actually seen this machine in the office of Aurum. It's a point of sale terminal. It takes fiat payments, that's your traditional currencies, but it also accepts cryptocurrency payments. A great product for any shopkeeper to put outside their shop. We accept crypto payments. That would bring in a lot of business to that shop. The other benefit to the shop is we can reduce the fees compared to what Visa and MasterCard would charge. We can do that because it's done on the blockchain, and we can speed up the payments. Some shops are waiting 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even 4 weeks for Visa to pay the money across. You bought your coffee and paid for it, but the shopkeeper does not have that money. That's sitting with Visa, or that might be sitting with MasterCard. What this device does is we can speed that payment up. They could be paid within 24 hours because of the blockchain technology. It might be 36 hours or 72, but you know what I'm saying? To get cash flow into a business faster, to reduce fees, and to accept crypto are great reasons why businesses would, I think, love this machine. What's in it for you? What they're writing now into the software is micropayment software. That means that if you were the person that introduced this technology to a shop, maybe you have a friend who owns a business, if they took this device, every time this machine is used, you get paid. That's what's in it for you. In addition to that, they're developing ATM machines. These are two-way, so you can put in paper money, like a vending machine. You put the money into it, and it will generate cryptocurrency to your digital wallet, or the vice versa. Let's say you have cryptocurrency on a digital wallet, you'd like to cash out, you need some paper money, generate a code, present it to the machine, and the ATM machine will go and pay out the cash to you. So this is in progress right now. What also impressed me was the exchange is up and running. I was anticipating this was going to happen at their launch in early January 26th, but they launched this back in late October or maybe early November 2025. So here's a company that talks the talk, but it walks the talk. It has the infrastructure, it has the products, it has the technology. I don't like companies that want our money to build their technology. I don't like companies that want our money to build their dreams. This company appears to have everything. They have the offices, they have the customer support, they have the payment solution with Visa, they have the licenses, they have the exchange, they have those point of sale terminals, they have liquidity bots, they have AI agents. It's all there, and was there in pre-launch, not like a company that says, oh, we're going to do this in the future. That's what impressed me with this particular company. Now, I have no interest in trading. I don't know how to. I might at some stage be interested in swapping, let's say, USDT into a little bit of Bitcoin, or I might want to swap a little bit of Bitcoin into Ethereum. So that's the only reason I would need one of these. But I did find a product on it, which is quite interesting. It's called the liquidity staking product. Guys, this is up and running and has been for some time. It's already there. If you had some Bitcoin, for instance, instead of sitting on a wallet doing nothing, if you popped it into the exchange, you can actually get your Bitcoin to grow. You can get free Bitcoin by just parking it there. It's called an annual yield, and you can get between 17 and 20% a year, depending on the coin you're operating. So, for instance, Solano is probably one of the better ones. If you put Solano in there, you're going to get 20% a year. If you put dollars, or what we call USDT or USDC, you're going to get USDT is almost 20%, Bitcoin 18%, XRP 17%. So imagine you could say to somebody, hey, I found a bank that's paying 17 to 20% on your money. What's people going to say to you? What? I found a bank that's doing 17 to 20% on your money. How does that work? Just download an app. It's on the iStore. It's on Google Play. Download this banking app, and off you go. They've some fabulous products there. So this is a great door opener for those that don't want to trade. Two good things about this I learned. Number one, that they pay these yields every day. So you don't have to leave it for a month or a week or a year. It comes every day. You get free Bitcoins every day, or free Ethereum or XRP every day is added to your wallet. And the other good thing I learned is you can take your money out anytime you want. There's no lockup of funds. So I thought that was brilliant. So that's a nice little product there, guys, no doubt. Moving on. Actually, I can show you an example of a customer's account. So here's a customer using that staking product I just spoke about. They put in $1,000, and they also tried it with 0.1 Bitcoin. Now, if you're looking at the screen right now, it doesn't say 0.1 Bitcoin. It says 0.10018. So it's actually getting free Bitcoins every day added to the wallet. And it doesn't say $1,000 like it used to. When it was deposited, it's now $1,008. So what this customer tried to do then was they wanted to withdraw to see, does that facility work? So they pressed the withdraw to take out $500. And you'd expect if you take away $500 from 1,008, you'd be left with $508. Well, absolutely not. They're left with $522. So 1,000 in, 500 out leaves you with 522. It's crazy, isn't it? They pay USDT to your account every day without trading. And look at the Bitcoin. It's not 0.1 anymore. It's 0.102. Now, previously it was 0.10018. So you can see this customer's receiving free Bitcoins every single day. So I think that's a very nice product. What I'd like to do with you now is just let you hear from Brian Benson. Brian, as I said, when he worked as managing director of Binance, he saw so many people creating wealth. He saw so many people becoming millionaires. And what he wanted to do was, when he came here to Aurum as the CEO, he wanted to be the man. He wanted to be that visionary leader that generates 1,000 millionaires. That's his goal. He wants to create 1,000 millionaires. Let's have a listen.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's, hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people turn into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company, is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield-bearing assets, through a lot, compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally, is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. Yeah. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
I think what we have at Aurum is very similar to what we had when I worked at Binance. So Brian Benson himself is starting to feel what happened with that explosion of Binance. He's feeling that here now, according to his interview here. So I thought that was an interesting piece just to listen to Brian Benson himself. Now, to try this platform, there is a subscription of $20 for the whole year. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 4 cups of coffee. I mean, we pay more to use the gym, but here for $20, you can try any of the products. You're not licensed to sell securities or investments, so don't be doing that. You can recommend a website. That's what you're doing. It's a $20 subscription. And then, of course, when your customer registers with Aurum, they're dealing directly with Aurum, not with you. So that's how it works. You're referring a website for $20. You're not selling securities. You're not selling financial or investment products. You would not be licensed to do that. And of course, this presentation, I'm not here to share any referral links with you at all. This is purely for education and information purposes. Now, let's go in and look at some of their other products. We've talked about ATM machines. We've talked about point of sale terminals for the shops. We've talked about Visa cards. These are physical products, but let's look at some of their AI agents in operation. This is probably what I'm hearing is the people's favorite. It's called the XAI bot or the EXAI bot, however you want to say that. It was launched back in 2023, but it was not open for public use. It was designed purely for those accredited investors, for those what we call high net worth individuals. Maybe you call them VCs, venture capitalists. And I believe it was in Forbes that I read. I think it was Forbes where I read that Brian Benson had closed a $12 million deal for a VC to test this product. And since that, I'd heard, and there's no foundation for this, but what I'd heard was either that VC or a bank had offered $100 million for this product and it was refused. Now, that product's been working almost 3 years, and that's pretty sensational because it uses what's called deep learning and machine learning. The AI has to continually learn, and it's overseen by live traders. I've been told there are 28 strategies in operation, but not all at the same time. And I'm told that they trade across 4 or 5 different big exchanges like Binance, KuCoin, and an OKX was another one that was mentioned. So on average, since it's trading up until about November 25, this account had done about 500%, which is sensational. Their worst trading month was 9% for a whole month. And their best trading month, I believe, was 23.5%. Now, on average, across all of their trading history, and again, past performance is not indicative of what the future might hold, but certainly the average was about 17.5% for this entire fund. Now, the company are not offering that to customers. They're not offering 17.5%, but what they are offering is somewhere between 10 and 16%, depending on the size of your account. So how do you get an account? Well, the person who invited you here might be kind enough to send you a referral link if they want to do that. There's no obligation to do that. But once you get registered, you can download an app on obviously the Apple Store or on Google Play. It's a banking app. It's called Aurum Neobank. And in there, you can start connecting to some of their products. Essentially, you make a deposit to your own account. They give you 8 wallets. They'll give you your own Bitcoin wallet. They'll give you your own Ethereum wallet. They'll give you a USDT wallet. They'll give you a BNB Binance wallet. They give you 2 meme coins. They give you Doge and Pepe. They give you an Aurum wallet, and they give you a Polygon wallet. That's the 8. And I don't know is that going to expand, but what you do is you pick some of those and you deposit to your own account. And then from there, you can send it to one of the AI agents to trade. So Let's talk about this when the EXI bought. Let's say you tried $120 or $170 or something like that. In between 100 and 249, you get 10% on average every month. On average, so it's not fixed; it floats, but on average, you're going to get about 10%, which is very, very, very good. For those of you that can manage more than that, let's say you were able to do, I don't know, $400 or $700 or $906, anywhere between 249 and 1,000, you're going to get or enjoy about 11% each month. For those of you that can afford to do what, 1,000 up to 2,500, you guys are going to get 12%. So really, you can see the higher the deposit to your own account, the better the rewards you're likely to receive. So that's how it works. I had a couple of questions about this. The first question I asked, well, if you're making all this money, if the customers are making all this money, how does Aurum make money? How are they going to stay alive? And I was told the answers on the screen, and I was led to that because the fund's doing 17.5%, and let's say you're getting 10%, the company makes that spread. They make that difference. So, and most customers are probably going to be between $100 and $5,000, I would guess. If you said that to me, where do you think the majority of customers will be? Probably $100 customers up to about 5,000 will be the most people. So that's where the company make the most money. Between 10%, they're getting 7. For those that get 11%, the company makes 6. For those that get 12%, the company makes 5. For those that get 13%, the company's making 4% on all those accounts. Actually, it's their larger customers where they make less money. But they told me that the larger customers needs less customer support. They're usually big accredited investors. They understand it's the small customers where the hassle is, the small customer where all the questions are, the small customer needs the support. That's why they don't get the same benefits. So my next question was, can you take the money out? Yes, you can take your profits out any day, every day. Okay, that was a good answer. The next question I had was, well, how much does it cost to take it out? And I was very surprised. It's 1%. And I was told if you're withdrawing to to Binance BEP20, it's 1% plus $1. And I was told if you're withdrawing to the Tron network TRC USDT TRC20, it's 1% plus $3.50 to withdraw to that, but only $1 if you move it out to, say, for instance, Trust Wallet or anything on the Binance network. So that was the answer to that. Then I asked, well, what about the principal? What about that? Can I take that out? And the answer is yes. In an emergency, if you need it, you can request that on the 1st, the 10th, and the 20th day of every single month. So if, God forbid, there was an emergency and you needed the money, you can call for your capital on those dates, the 1st, 10th, and 20th of every month. This particular product, now they have 7 of these operating right now, but this particular one is designed, they call it a short-term strategy for success for 12 months. This is designed for 12 months. So if you were to take it out inside 12 months, just the principal, you can take out your profits, but the principal element is going to be subject to a 35% early retirement fee. Now, that's the same as anything in the finance world. If you take out a pension and let's say you don't let it run its term, you want to take it early, you're not going to get the exact same. They're going to penalize you a little bit for taking it early. So this is designed for 12 months. 12 months goes like that. So, but the good news is I calculated that, let's say you wanted your principal after the 4th month, you'd get all your money because it's made more than the penalty. Do you understand? After about the 4th month, well, sure, you're in profit. Even if they did take that penalty, you've got all your money back. So I was happy to see that as well. Now, that's just one of their products, guys. As I said, they have about 6 more of these, but I was able to get a look at 2 of these accounts. So this is a small account with $500 deposit. And if you look on the bottom left-hand side, can you see the 17th of April? This account was funded with 500, but on the 17th of April, it was 500. But if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, just cast your eyes down there a second. Can you see we're looking at the 17th of September in this freeze frame here? So we're talking about 5 actually trading history months. So from the 17th of April to the 17th of September, this account made $382. Was that impressive? I didn't think it was, but it actually is very impressive because when you work out the maths, how to calculate it, you take the profit 382, you place it on top of the principal, the 500, and you divide the bottom number into the top number, 500 into 382. That gets you your percentage is 76%. much better than any bank, much better than property business, much better than gold. I was very impressed when we calculated the maths. And for 5 months, wow, what's this account going to be like in a year, let's say? So then I was able to get a look at a larger account. Let's take a look at a $10,000 account. Again, this account number ends in 1972. It's actually hash B3441972. But if we just remember, for the purposes of a demonstration here, 1972, that's the account number. 10th of April was the start date. And if you look on the bottom right, you'll see the 16th of May. This is 5 weeks trading. 5 weeks. This account made $2,360 in 5 weeks. Now that's quite impressive with no customers, no training, no trading experience. $2,300 profit in 5 weeks it's as good as it gets. We looked at this account again on the 16th of June last year. Sorry, the 24th. Can you see the date here? 24th of June at 1:38. I don't know, is that in the afternoon or in early morning? But the account went from 10,000 to 12, and then it went from 12,000 up to 15,000. It made another $2,000. Actually, another 3,000. Can you see that? So in the first 5 weeks, it made 2,300, and in the next 5 weeks, it made 3,100. That's the compounding effect kicking in. After 3 months, the account moved up to $17,000, and after 4 months, this particular account doubled. Now, again, past performance is not indicative of future results. It depends whether you're compounding or not compounding. It depends how much you've got deposited, different variables. But just as an example, this was very, very impressive to see 10,000 becoming 20,000 in 4 months. Well, guys, that's back on the 10th of August last year. What do you think happened on the 10th of September and then the 10th of November, the 10th of December, 10th of January? There's 4 or 5 months since then. Let's take a look at 8 months. So on the 10th of December, that same account, look at the number 1972. Let's go back and check. 1972, 10th of April, 1972, 10th of April was up at 39,000. The $10,000 is now 39,500 in 8 months. Really, really, really good. Then in January 2026, we looked again at the same account ending in 1972, 10th of April start date. We're looking at the screenshot here of the 10th of January 26. It's up to 46,974. That's very close to 47,000. So if it went from 39,000 to 47,000, it made $7,000 in 1 month. Now this customer only started with 10,000. But in this month of January, it made $7,000 in 1 month because of the compounding effect. And of course, the withdraw buttons lit up. Why do you think the withdraw buttons lit up? Because it's the 10th of January. You can take out your principal on the first day of every month, the 10th day of every month. This is the 10th of January, and the 20th day. Let's just go back again here. I want you to notice that the withdraw button is gray. Can you see the withdraw button is grayed out on the 16th of May? Why? Because it's not the 1st of May or the 10th or the 20th. Those are the withdrawal dates. It's the 16th, so you can't withdraw the principal, only the profit. On the 24th of June, that's not the 1st, the 10th, or the 20th, so you can't withdraw on the 24th of June. You can withdraw on the 20th of June, and you can withdraw on the 1st of July, and the 1st of June, and the 10th of June. 1st, 10th, 20th, not the 24th. But look here, on the 10th of July, yes, the withdrawal button's open. Look at the 10th of August. Yes, you can withdraw your principal as well. Look here, 10th of December. Yes, you can withdraw. Look at this, 10th of January. Yes, that's a withdrawal date. So a little bit of education there that we learned about this particular product. So really impressed with the small accounts, really impressed with the larger type accounts. And that's called the EXI bot. There are other bots there called the Pro bot. There's one called the Zeus bot. That's for those of you that might have a little bit of Ethereum or Bitcoin sitting around, maybe not doing much on exchange or offline. Simply by asking it to work over here, there is that potential for these accounts to grow. Now, I want to finish with this account. This is the last product. It's a Visa card. I think I showed you that a little bit earlier. But it's no ordinary Visa card. This is a very special one, and the reason it's special is a number of reasons. The first thing is the company don't ask for your passport or driver's license. They don't ask for your bank statement or utility bill. this particular card. Now they have 4 different cards. This particular one doesn't require KYC, and it allows you to load up $100,000 of cryptocurrency. Now you can import your money from anywhere. Let's say you have USDT on Binance or Coinbase or where else, MetaMask or Trust Wallet. You can import that to your banking app into your own USDT wallet, and then you go top up card, and you can bring it in, send it straight onto the card. Now you can spend crypto anywhere where Visa and MasterCard are accepted. I think it's a really cool product. The top up fees are very low, 2%, 2.2%. It's nothing. And very, very impressive. There will be 4 cards available ultimately. The first 2 cards will require KYC, but the last 2 are exempt of KYC. So it just shows you the kind of clout this Brian Benson guy has to put these kind of deals together on the table. I'm going to show you an example of this card. Now, this was used back in June 25. So customers have been using this since June 25. This particular customer was trading. He stopped the trading bot, because you can stop it, just go stop bot. And then he went top up card, and he put the money onto the card to see would it work. So he went down to the shop, get some milk. Let's see what happens.
Here we go then, second official transaction.
No, purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Mina.
Boom, there you go. Imagine being able to spend cryptocurrency anywhere in the world that accepts Visa and MasterCard. Very, very impressive. And it's also been tested at the ATM machines. We've seen that working as well. Very, very impressive. So that's our presentation over. I want to thank everybody for attending this particular call. I hope you found some value there, but please do your own due diligence. Do seek professional advice before you make any decisions, and get back to the person that shared this link with you. Get your very valid questions answered, of course, and I hope the decision you come to is the right decision for both you and the rest of your family. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.